Coach. Your first question will be from Eric Hansen.
All right, Eric.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good to hear.
Okay, I got a couple of things for you. The first one relates to Ian Book as a runner.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, as you know, he's gone through these 30-some games as a starter, if the philosophy about how to use him as a runner has also changed. And the second part of my question is, everybody noticed the right knee brace on Brendan Clark on Saturday. I wondered if you could update us on what's going on with him.
Yeah, so as you know, we have very few designed runs for Ian because, you know, part of who he is that you're going to get some runs from him within the offense. What we have done is, called some pass plays that have the run opportunities in them if he doesn't like what he sees. So it's kind of gone the opposite way for us in terms of designing the run game. So, you know, in some instances, he has the opposite of an RPO where he has the PRO, and it's a pass run option for him. And so a little bit different from that perspective, and that's by design because of his ability, obviously, to see the field really well. Brendan has had ACL surgery in high school, and that knee has been cranky, and so the knee brace is to give him some more stability through the rest of the season. And then he'll get evaluated at the end of the season as to whether there needs to be a procedure, cleaning it up, or a reassessment as to where he is with that knee.
Your next question will be from Tim Priester.
Brian, how would you evaluate the way Clarence Lewis played against Syracuse and just the progress that you've seen from him this year, and maybe some of the things that you would like to see him improve upon moving forward?
Yeah, we really love Clarence's athletic ability. It's really about the details of the position, Tim, that we have to get better at, and a lot of it has to do with just taking your eyes off the quarterback, getting him back towards the man, and really being disciplined in his preparation. He's a young player. That sometimes those things take time to really build the discipline to get to that level, and so we're in that process, Tim, of building that discipline that you need to play at a high level at the cornerback position. He's got really the kind of traits we like, certainly the physical traits, but he's got a tough demeanor. We need to get translating more of the attention to detail and the habits from practice and preparation to performance at that position with him in particular.
Your next question will be from Austin Huff.
Brian, I got two questions here for you.
Okay.
The first one is, this is only your second true bye week. I would say your first bye week, obviously a lot of COVID issues to deal with. Is there anything different from this bye week than the one you had maybe a couple weeks ago? And then just preparing for Clemson, does that change at all knowing that Trevor Lawrence is playing versus DJ Uiagalelei?
Yeah, this bye week will be different in the way we handle it from the last bye week that we had. The last bye week, we gave the guys time off on the back end of this leading into the week of preparation, and that was primarily because we felt like rest was the most important thing. Rest is not necessarily the most important thing. These guys have been away from the classroom. They're getting 8-9 hours sleep. They're in the training room. They're getting pretty good rest. We want to get back in the weight room. We want to get back into a disciplined environment relative to our preparation in practice. And we want to maintain our routine as best possible. That's really, for me, the most important thing. Today and Wednesday we'll weight train. We'll actually give them Tuesday off. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be 3 days of preparation for Clemson, with Saturday being we'll tackle on Saturday. So we want to get Saturday to feel like a game kind of operation. So we maintain a routine that they come back in at Sunday with treatment, and then we go through our normal in-week preparation. So this bye week would be handled differently than others during the season.
Your next question will be from John Finneran.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, John.
A couple of things. First of all, could you give us an update on your team's health coming out of the Syracuse game? The second thing would be, see anything different other than Lawrence being back about this Clemson team that you'll be that's in the last time that you played them? And finally, some things that you feel your team needs to clean up after the Syracuse game. Thanks again.
Yeah, and let me just go back to the previous question that was asked of me. I forgot to get to the back end of his question about what would we do different with Trevor Lawrence versus DJ, and then I'll get to yours, John. Not much. I mean, the system is the system that they run. There may be a little bit more activation of quarterback runs, but the scheme up front, we're well aware of what that scheme is in terms of the quarterback run scheme. So just being a little bit more locked into some quarterback runs perhaps would be the only slight difference. Health of the team is good. We had a couple of guys that were evaluated for head injuries. They seem to be making really good progress. So no feeling here today that anybody would be disrupted from that perspective. They should continue to clear as we move through the normal protocols from that standpoint. As it relates to Clemson in terms of anything different, you know, they've, as we looked at the last couple of games over the weekend, not as many pressures, and it could be maybe because they had their captain out on defense and they wanted to kind of slow some things down. But we'll be prepared for a little bit of everything, from what they do defensively. And again, we've got plenty of time to evaluate what they did against us and certainly what they have shown, this past weekend against Virginia Tech.
Your next question will be from Lou Samoji.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Afternoon, Lou.
A couple questions. First, regarding moving forward with the offensive line, do you feel best with Josh Lugg at the center position, or do you want to create some kind of rotation there? And just the second thing, maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves, but with the COVID situations through Christmas break and all, does everyone stay on campus? Is it one area that you are going to be confined in like you were with the Morrison? What are kind of some of the plans going forward?
Yeah, as it relates to the offensive line, we're still evaluating. We want to get Zeke back and get him back healthy so we can get him back in for some preparation and practice. Josh did a very good job. I thought the play of Dylan Gibbons was really, really solid. So, we've got some options there, which we'll evaluate here over the next few days. So we're not ready to make any announcements as to, what that looks like. I think what the positive of this is that we know that with Lugg and Zeke and now even with Dylan and getting Tommy back, and Tommy did a nice job when he was in there as well, that we've created some depth. And then we'll look to find out what that best rotation is. Look, in the offensive line, I don't know that you ever really want to be moving guys in and out of the line up there. You like continuity, but in this instance, we'll see what pans out to be the best situation for us. As it relates to our schedule with the holidays, we're going to be playing in some game on January 1. We hope it's the playoffs. If not, it's most likely a New Year's 6. So we're going to be here through Christmas as well. and that's going to keep us here on campus. Now, we don't have anybody that is teamed up with another player, so contact tracing is not an issue for us. We eliminated that back in September with guys moved into different locations. But we do have some at the Morris Inn. We use the Morris Inn as a destination for meals. So we'll continue to use that as a destination for meals. And our housing situation is one where we have guys all at different locations right now to eliminate any potential contact tracing situations. So our challenge really is to see how many times we can create some other things to do. We went to the women's basketball game. We'll try to get to some different events around here to keep our guys occupied as they're going to be here and not going to travel home, during the holidays.
Your next question will be from Pete Byrne.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Pete.
A couple questions for you. First of all, these next 2 weeks are unprecedented for this program since you've never played for a conference title, having not been in one. I'm curious, A, do you anticipate the next 2 weeks will be kind of exciting and full of anticipation for your team, given that opportunity? And then secondly, I'm wondering if you would go back to your days at Grand Valley State, where the playoffs at that level aren't like the playoffs here. It's over the course of a month, and you're basically entering the stretch where you're going to play potentially, if all goes well, 3 top 5 caliber opponents back to back to back. How do you get your team to continue to build and raise the bar and up the ante week after week once you get into this stage of the season?
Yeah, I know they're really excited about playing for championship. This is what they've wanted. This has been the impetus for them to make all the sacrifices that they have made to get to this point. Living through this pandemic has been very difficult for them, and so they're. I mean, this is really what they've been chasing: the opportunity to win an ACC championship and to win a national championship. So exciting, yes, absolutely. This is what they've been, shooting for from the very first time that the university decided to open up campus. This has been their goal. So there'll be a lot of excitement. There's no doubt about that. There are some similarities, but our team has they've handled it quite well. They know who they're playing. They know the caliber of play that has to be played week in and week out over this next month for them to win a championship. So they know the preparation is got to be better, and it's got to be translated to really high-level performance, and they're excited about that. I think more than anything else, quite frankly, that's what they're looking forward to. They want to be on that razor's edge. They want to be pushed to have to show up and prepare and be pushed to prepare and to perform at a high level. They really enjoy that. And quite frankly, they know that they're going to get that opportunity and going to have to do that over the next month.
Your next question will be from Matt Fortuna.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Matt.
You're confident in this team publicly dating back to August, even after crazy, unforeseen offseason. Was there a moment or two in camp that made you think this team could be not just another really good Notre Dame team, but a potential great championship winning team?
I thought that because we had the ability to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, that gave us a chance. And then we had to establish the playmakers on Saturday. I saw the playmaking ability in practice, but that doesn't do it for you. You've got to do it on Saturdays. And so for me, it was, how are we going to take this confidence that they display against each other and get them to display that against somebody wearing a different jersey? And once I started to see that in bits and pieces, I felt like we could have a really special team. And that wasn't, that really didn't start to show itself until Florida State, where they started to make the kind of plays in practice in the game. And then I felt like we had a really, really, really good chance to have a special team.
Your next question will be from Patrick Engel.
Hey, Brian, about Tommy Rees, I'm just kind of curious, having known him as a player for 4 years. When he came back at first to be your QB coach and was clearly pretty serious about trying to make a go of it in coaching, what did you notice about just his preparation and what he came back to Notre Dame with as far as a coaching philosophy and notes he'd taken and just trying to get himself into that coaching X's and O's, play caller, whatever kind of mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really evaluated him as, Tommy Rees, the next play caller or head coach. I knew that he was going to be destined for a great career, and whatever that path was going to be, it was going to be starting at Notre Dame, and I was going to make sure, in some fashion, I was going to get him back to Notre Dame, because I just saw him grow so much, even in his time here at Notre Dame. But I saw a guy that when he decided that he wanted to be in coaching, that had a keen understanding of relationships, the relationships with coaches to coaches, peer relationships, staff, and then understood the difference between being a player and being a coach. I mean, sometimes it's hard to make that leap. As a player, you want to go out, and he's a quarterback, right? The first thing you want to go out is you want to demonstrate it. And he wasn't that quarterback coach. He wasn't a guy that was going to go, all right, give me the ball, let me show you how to do this. He was going to teach it. And so I knew that I had a really good teacher and somebody that was going to use different forms to communicate it, whether it be through whiteboard, whether through video, whether it be through walkthrough. He used all of those mediums to his disposal to teach the position. And once I saw that, I was pretty confident that we were going to have a coach that was destined for a great, great career. And it's obviously turned out to be pretty good so far.
Your next question will be from Andrea Adelson.
Hi, Brian. Andrea Adelson with ESPN.
Yeah, Andrea.
Hi. I imagine this is probably the dream scenario you all envisioned when you joined the ACC for this year. Now that you've actually gone through the regular season, can you describe how being in the conference benefited not just the program, but potentially even your playoff chances?
Well, we got a matchup with with a team that's camped out in the playoffs and with Clemson. So, when you're looking at your schedule and you know that Clemson's on it, and now you've gotten the opportunity to join the ACC. Obviously it puts you in a pretty good position, because we were able to keep our schedule together by the ACC being gracious enough to bring us in this year. And then with Clemson on it, it just all fell together really nicely for us. And so I think those are the two pieces, right? We had Clemson on the schedule, getting the invitation to come in to the ACC. You then start thinking, okay, this could work out pretty nicely here, where they're coming to Notre Dame in November. I think the only dream that didn't come together is we were hoping for maybe 18 degrees and snow for Clemson, and it was a mild night, but it worked out okay.
Your next question is going to be from Pete Sampson.
Brian, I just want to put a finer point on the injury of status of Beau Bauer as he sort of cleared to move forward. And then bigger picture, you guys don't do rematches very often. So from a game planning perspective, the challenges that creates against a good coordinator pair, particularly for Tommy Rees, the game plan first time around, broke some tendencies, did some creative things. Are all those things sort of available to you after, they have a full game of tape to evaluate you?
Beau had a contusion, nothing structurally, not ligaments, not tendons. So he appeared to be really good yesterday at check-in. Once again, nothing that Rob Hunt gave me showed anything that would keep guys from being part of our practice on Wednesday. As it relates to playing a team a second time, there's certainly pluses and minuses on that, right? I mean, I think you learn the strengths and weaknesses of each team. So maybe what you lose in terms of tendencies and breaking tendencies, you pick up in getting a better in-depth knowledge of where to attack and having compliments off of that. So I really think it's a push on both sides, and maybe I think this really comes down to, in more than anything else, this becomes much more of a physical presence and playmakers making plays, and then the fundamentals. I think in those three areas, physicality, playmakers making plays, and then the fundamentals of the game, those will be on display for us in terms of how we prepare moving forward. Then trying to get too involved in out scheming. I don't think this game is about who out schemes who. I think it comes down to those three elements that I just articulated.
Your next question will be from Tyler James.
Hi, Brian. Tim asked you earlier about
Hi, Tyler.
Clarence. You've had a number of freshmen make impacts this year. Have you noticed anything across maybe that entire class that they've been able to do in such a strange year that's allowed you to trust them as freshmen? And then wanted to ask about two guys specifically, Chris Tyree, how has he handled the physical toll of running back? And then Michael Mayer, how does he handle the teaching moments like obviously this past game, sort of running short of a first down and fourth down there?
Yeah, I think those are really good questions. I think of the freshmen and how they handle the length of the season. I think I brought this up probably last year, and Kyle Hamilton, halfway through the season, commented like, "I can't believe we have 6 more games. It feels like we've been playing all summer, all winter." And freshmen mentally hit a block, not as much physically, but mentally they hit a roadblock. I think Mike didn't hit a roadblock, but there was a lot going on. The tight end position, as you know, there's some complexities there with different looks each week relative to what's going on, and especially at the running back position where Chris has got to deal with picking up different blitzes and pressures, and obviously the reads in the run game and catching the ball coming out of the backfield. Those two guys in particular have handled themselves from that end of it really, really well. And I would even lean towards Chris Tyree not blinking at all, and maybe even getting better as the season has worn on, to where it seems like he has gotten better as the season has gone on in terms of how he's handled everything. And I think we were pretty excited about his performance on Saturday, because if you really closely look at what we did with him, we brought him into the game with 2 backs a lot more because we wanted to get him more action. He picked up 2 corner blitzes that were difficult to find, carried the ball, kickoff returns. So they're certainly counted on, but I think that mental piece is as big as anything.
Your next question will be from Tim O'Malley.
Coach, I'm staying with the freshman theme here. I think Riley. I wanted your evaluation of Riley Mills
Yeah.
over the last few games,
Yeah.
and also next to him, redshirt freshman Howard Cross, who it seems to have been increasing his playing time as well.
So Riley was learning a new position, really. I mean, we kind of, asked him to move inside and play some, a very important position. I mean, the gap responsibilities within our structure in front are always on display. Look, we gave up 2 runs of 120 yards. We gave up 229 yards in total, and we cut 2 gaps loose on Saturday. So if you're not gap aware and understand our defense, it doesn't matter if you're, you have, all the physical tools, you can't play. And so Riley was learning how to play a new position. And now that he's got his understanding down, that's why you're seeing him play much more football for us. And the second part of that question was?
Asking about Howard Cross.
Yeah. Howard has, he just plays so physical at the point. Low pads, great leverage, strong hands. He's just really had a really good year for us, and really love the way he plays at the point of attack.
Your next question will be from Brian Driscoll.
Coach, I want to take you back actually a little bit to your last 3 years at Grand Valley State. Twice, I believe, in that stretch, you had to play Saginaw State twice, both times in the playoffs. You won both rematches. Once was a game after you'd lost in the regular season, and then the second time was you had to beat them twice.
Yep.
Are there any lessons you can draw as a head coach as far as preparing your team in such a not only a rematch, but a rematch with something on the line that can relate to what you're going through now, or is it a different situation?
Yeah, that you win all different ways. I'll give you an example. Everybody is talking about the double overtime game and what the score is. Don't get misled that everyone thinks that this might be a shootout. I think we won that second rematch. I think it might have been 14-7. And the first time we played, it was a shootout. You learn so much about your opponent, and both teams do, that sometimes when you play a second time, it makes it hard to move the football because the defense gets the edge in the second time. I'm telling you that right now. And so those are probably the things that I've learned in the rematches, that the defenses tend to get a little bit of an edge against you, and because they've seen you and they know a little bit about where they can lean on you a little bit. That's why it's about physicality for me. It's about playmakers making plays and then fundamentals, because these games are generally going to be close, hard fought, and separated by one score, and sometimes low scoring games.
Your next question will be from Mark Skoll.
Hey, Coach. First off, congratulations on completing a regular season during a global pandemic. In a season with so much you have to expect the unexpected, what would you say has been the most surprising thing? Was there anything going into the year where you were expecting something to happen that didn't happen, or something that you weren't expecting to happen that happened? What would you say has been just the most surprising thing?
I would say that the game day atmosphere is probably the one thing that I wasn't certain about how that was all going to play out. As coaches, we're going to prepare the same way. Our preparation, we're crazy about, preparation and how we do things and routines and things of that nature. The one wild card here was, what's it going to be like when you run into a stadium that normally has 75, 77,000 people in it, and now it has 10,000? How does your team respond? What's it feel like? And so that was probably the biggest thing for me, is that it felt okay. I mean, it wasn't the same, but it didn't feel like it was totally out of place. This weekend was a little bit different, not having the students there, and quite frankly, not having the band there made a difference. I mean, you know, for all we talk about, you know, the different venues, the pageantry and the band and the cheerleaders and, you know, all those things, they make a difference. And so that was probably for me personally. I don't know what my players would say, but to me, I kind of sensed that I didn't know what was going to happen, but we were able to make it work. And of course, at BC, that was probably the most difficult because there was nobody there at all. And I thought our guys did a remarkable job of staying locked in and focused on the job at hand.
All right, your final question will come from John Bryce in the chat. What did you see in this team that let you know it would positively respond when you challenge it to look ahead and evaluate its play as you did? And what did that also reveal about the pulse that you and your staff have on the team?
Well, if I knew 100% that I had the answer, I probably would have done it sooner. But you never really know. You're probably 80% certain that you know the pulse of your team, but there's always 20% that is in the back of your head. Is this the right time to say this, and will it have the appropriate impact that you're looking for? I just felt like they were built different with the group that we had, the senior leadership, that they understood what's important now and what's important next are they're linked together. And so I just felt like it was the right time to take that angle with this group, and it resonated with them.
All right, that's all the time we have today. Thanks,
Thank you.
Coach.